Yo, 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 what up, what up, what up, my betting family? We back with another video here at No Limit Bets for the NBA slate of March 1st, 2023. Before we get started, as always, though, I would like to say good morning to y'all, good afternoon, whatever time it may be that you're watching this video. Hope y'all having a good one, and hopefully we can make it a better day by winning some money. Also, if you guys are new to the channel, if you enjoy the content, if we were able to win you guys some money by some of the picks we posted on here, please like, comment, and subscribe, man. It's truly appreciated. We're currently on the road to 500 subscribers. We're more than halfway there. So definitely appreciate all the love and support that you guys have shown thus far. But like I always say, we want to keep this train rolling to 500 to 1,000 subscribers and so on and so forth. But without further ado, let's hop into today's videos, today's picks. We got a big slate tonight. I believe there's 9 games going on, but there's a lot of teams on the second night of a back-to-back. So there could be a lot of trap spots. Just beware of that. A lot of games have one, if not both teams on the second night of a back-to-back. I believe there was only 3 games that don't have a team that has been that are on the second night of back-to-back, and I think that's the Philly and Heat game, the Suns and Charlotte, and Cavs and Boston, which are the picks that PrizePicks currently has up right now. I've been waiting to see what else they put out. They haven't put nothing out since last night when all these props were put out. They have the same props as last night, so I'm pretty sure it has to do with all those all those teams on the second night or back-to-back, excuse me. But either way, I'm gonna be bringing out my top 6 picks for tonight's NBA slated games. Just to do a quick recap of the slips that I did submit yesterday. We had a lot of 4 and 2s, man. As you can see with this one, we went 4 and 2. Rudy Gobert and Cam Reddish weren't able to get it done for us. We have another 4 and 2 here with Sengun and Halliburton not able to get his assists. Sengun not able to get his points and rebounds. Another 4 and 2 here with DeMar DeRozan only having 2 out of 9.5 rebounds and assists. Rudy Gobert wasn't able to get it done for us. He comes close, but not able to get it done. Then we had another 4 and 2 slip. Cam Reddish again misses out, and Jacob Poeltl only ends up with 3 rebounds against Chicago, which was a bit of a disappointment. I thought he'll definitely get closer to the line that they had him at of 8.5. And then unfortunately, the one that I did post on here went 3 and 3. Trae Young had it rolling yesterday. Even I know we took the Taco Tuesday discount, but even with his regular line, which was at 26.5, he was able to hit his over. Vucevic comes right on the hook with only 32. He was the play for this one was just his points line. I believe they had him at 18. I thought he would get a little bit more rebounds. We just needed one more rebound, really. I think he only ends up with like 5 rebounds. So if he was able to get 6, we would hit it. Kyrie has another rough game with only 16 points. On top of that, misses the game winner. So these past couple of games have been rough for Kyrie. We were able to call the under on Fred VanVleet. He had a rough shooting night. He only ends up with 3 points. Patrick Beverley was all over him. I know. I think he was like 1 from 11 from the field, 1 from 9 from 3. So yeah, he definitely didn't have it going. We call that. And then Spencer Dinwiddie, he went off. There's not much I could say. He went off against the Bucks with 40 PRAs. That was definitely a wrong call on my part. And then Ja Morant, the first half, it was looking sketchy. He only had 6 points in the first half. And I'm like, here we go again, Ja Morant. He had a rough shooting first half, but then turns it up in the third quarter, scoring pretty much over his line. He had 28 points alone in the third quarter, and his line was at 26.5. So just alone in the third quarter, he's able to go over on his points prop. So yeah, 3 and 3, neutral day. Obviously, with PrizePicks, it is a losing day. Overall, made some of my money back, but obviously lost money. I was only to get $2 for every 4 pick that I got right. So 3-3 day. Definitely want to have a better day here today. So let's go ahead and hop into today's picks. Like I said, there's not a lot. I tried to wait, but they just put out the Orlando props, which I'm not really too interested on going against Milwaukee. I have to see what Milwaukee lines lineup is. I don't know if somebody's going to be sitting out on a second night of back-to-back or not. So we're pretty much just sticking to the 3 games that don't have teams with a second night of back-to-back, as they're the only props that has been on PrizePicks up until now. So let's go ahead and get into it. For our first pick, we're gonna go with a points prop, and we're gonna be going to the Celtics and Cavs games, and we're gonna be taking Jalen Brown over 24.5 points. As you guys could see, other than definitely don't want to count the All-Star game. He did go off for 35 points in the All-Star game, but we're not counting that. Against Philly, he only had 4 points on that one. That's when he had got injured. So the other 3, he's has been able to hit it with 26 and 30 in the past 2 games. And then on February 3rd against Phoenix, he ends up with 27. So here, these past 2 games, he has been rolling, like I mentioned, 30 and 26 points are above this line. Obviously, they're going up against the Cavs, and he has hit this over in 6 straight against the Cavs, including 2 earlier matchups this season. So in those 6 games, he scored 34 points, 33, 28, 34. And then the 2 matchups earlier this season, he scores 32 and 30. So overall, he's had it going against the Cavs. Now, I know the Cavs are a great defensive team, but their weakness, if you want to say, is pretty much in the mid-range game, which Jalen Brown excels at. He does a lot of his damage in the mid-range, whether it's pull-up or turnarounds. And then on top of that, I'm not sure really who's going to have the matchup. I mean, if you put Donovan Mitchell or Garland on him, obviously that's a mismatch. They do have Okoro, but then if that's the case, then what do you do with Jason Tatum? So it all depends on the matchup. I think Jalen Brown is going to have the more favorable matchup today. And on top of that, it's a big game. I think this is going to be a very, very competitive game. The 2 earlier matchups this season versus these 2 teams, both of those games went into overtime. And obviously, the Celtics and the Cavs are fighting for playoff seeding here as we wind down the end of the season. So gonna rock with Jalen Brown for our first pick of the day. For our second pick, we're gonna stick to the same game, but we're going to go to the points and assists category, and we're going to be taking Darius Garland over 27.5 points and assists. Now, Garland, overall in his last 5 games, he's averaging 29.4 points and assists, which we as you can see, it's above the 27.5 line that they have him at. But against the Celtics, he's hit this over in 4 out of his last 5 versus the Celtics, including the one matchup he did play against the Celtics earlier this season. He missed one of the 2 matchups. So in those 5 games, he had 31 points and assists, 28, 19, 34, and then 41. The 41 was the one earlier matchup this season against the Celtics, where he had 29 points and 12 assists. And then also on top of that, Boston is allowing the 6th most points per game and 3rd most assists per game to opposing point guards. So the matchup and the numbers favor Garland with the numbers. Now, as far as in the actual matchups in the game, I'm not sure if he's gonna get the the Marcus Smart matchup, or if Marcus Smart is going to end up on Donovan Mitchell. But either way, I like it. I think it's either going to be Donovan Mitchell or Darius Garland putting up a show. Other than that, I know they have Evan Mobley who can get his own. Jared Allen is more of a dump-off type of player to where he gets his points off of rebounds and alleys and things of that nature. And then Okoro, he's not much of a scorer. So I think all the scoring is really going to be on Garland and Mitchell's shoulders. So give me Garland for our second pick. For our third pick, we're going to be going to an assist prop. Or we're going to be going to the Suns and Charlotte game. We're going to be taking Chris Paul over 8.5 assists. I think this line is just way too low for a player like Chris Paul. We all know he's a point guard. He's a pass-first point guard, especially at this stage of his career. He's not much of a scorer. As you can see, he's averaging 10.4 over his last 5. He's hit the over in 3 out of the last 5. The misses was against Milwaukee, which is a tough defensive team, and then OKC, where he only ended up with 6. Now, as you guys know, tonight they're going up against Charlotte, a team that's pretty much just all about the offensive end. They play no defense, pretty much little to no defense, and I believe it's going to be a somewhat of a high-scoring game. As we all know as well, the big news, KD is going to be coming back for this game. So that's just going to me, what I predict is Chris Paul is going to just be the playmaker. He's just going to be the facilitator on this team. They have Book, they have KD, and they have DeAndre Ayton to be able to get, buckets. But overall, against the Hornets, he's hit this over in 4 out of the last 5 games against the Hornets, including 11 assists in the earlier matchup this season. So in those 5 games, he's had 10 assists, 1 assist, which that was a mind that just like it was crazy to see a 1 assist game from Chris Paul. And he did play, I believe, 38 minutes in that game, but that's something that you'll probably never see again, or probably has never happened in his career, where he only has 1 assist. But he has 10 assists, 1 assist, 9 assists, 16 assists, and then like I mentioned, the earlier matchup this season, he's had 11. So he's gone over 4 out of the last 5. So also, the Hornets are allowing the 5th most assists per game to opposing point guards over the last 7 games. And like I mentioned, KD is expected to come back. So I just see Chris Paul just being the facilitator, and I think this line is a little too low for him. So give me Chris Paul over 8.5 assists. For our 4th pick, we're going to be going, for our 4th and 5th pick, actually, we're going to be going to the Heat and Sixers game. I think this is going to be a good one as well. The point spread is only 1.5 in the Sixers' favor. So for our 4th pick, we're going to be taking Tobias Harris over 13.5 points. Now, I know here recently he's only hit the over 2 times out of those last 5 games. And he had a horrible game. He pretty much was out there conditioning against the Heat 2 nights ago, only scoring 2 points on 5 shot attempts. Obviously, as we know, Tobias Harris can get his shots up. He should get about 10 shot attempts per game, especially when Embiid is on the bench or Harden is on the bench as well. But overall, in his last 7 games against the Heat, he's hit this over 6 out of those 7 games with 18 points, 21 points, 24 points, 22 points, 16 points, 14, and then the one that I just mentioned 2 nights ago where he ended up with 2 points. That was the only one that he missed out of his last 7 games against the Heat. So I expect him to kind of have a bounce back game tonight, be a little bit more involved, be a little bit more aggressive on the offensive end, and be able to get us 14 points. Also, on top of that, the Heat are allowing the 5th most points per game to opposing small forwards. So I think this is a good spot to take Harris after the horrible game he had 2 nights ago. I think he is, like I said, a little bit more aggressive on the offensive end. He should be able to get us 14 points for us. And then for our fifth pick, we're sticking to the same game. We're going to go to the other side. We're going to go with a rebounds and assist prop. And we're going to be taking Jimmy Butler over 11 rebounds and assists. Now, I know he just had a monster game against the Sixers 2 nights ago with almost a triple-double. Was 1 assist shy of the triple-double. And he had 11 rebounds and 9 assists for a total of 20 rebounds plus assists. But that is obviously a good stat. I'm not just going off of that. Over his last 8 games versus the Sixers, he's averaged 6.6 rebounds per game and 6.1 assists for a total of 12.7 rebounds and assists. The numbers for rebounds and assists over his last 8 are 12, 18, 9, 9, 14, 9, 11, and 20. So he did have one push there, and then the rest of them were right around the ballpark with 9 rebounds and assists. So he's hit the over in 4 out of the 8 4 out of his last 8 games, versus the Sixers, with one of them coming on the push and the other 3 being ended up with 9 rebounds and assists. So he's always around that ballpark. Now, just like the 2 nights ago, I expect Jimmy to get a lot, not double digits rebounds, but definitely a lot of boards, and obviously not close to the 20 rebounds and assists. I'm not saying he's going to duplicate that, but I think he could get us 12, as he's, like I mentioned, he's averaging 12.7 rebounds and assists. Now, on top of that, the Sixers are allowing the 6th most rebounds per game and the 2nd most assists per game to opposing small forwards over the last 7. So this fares well for Jimmy. And then another quick note, Bam is going to be tied up with Embiid. We all know he's going to be just focused totally on Embiid. I think Jimmy is going to have to be more of a rebounder. And then on top of that, Kyle Lowry is going to be out again. So they're going to need pretty much the same Jimmy as a couple nights ago, where he's aggressive, he's getting everybody involved, and just, being an all-around player. So I expect him to do that as well tonight, to at least get us 12 rebounds and assists. So for our last pick, I was going back and forth. I was waiting for PrizePicks to put up some more props. As you guys could see, now they're starting to add them. They have Detroit up, and then they have Orlando, like I mentioned, but not really too interested in that. Like I said, we have to see what players are not playing or are playing on the teams that they're going up against. So I'm just going to go ahead and go to rebounding prop. This is not the best pick in my opinion, but it was the only one that I kind of liked, or I leaned towards. And I'm going to take Mark Williams over 9.5 rebounds. Now, he's averaging 10.4 over his last 5. His past 2 games, he's been killing it on the rebounds. He had 20 against Miami and 11 against Detroit and 10 against the Spurs. Now, I know Detroit and the Spurs struggle against opposing centers overall throughout the season, so that wasn't too much of a shock. Mark Williams, he's a young center. He is 7 foot, so he has size to him. Obviously the Hornets are going to be without LaMelo Ball, and I don't know if PJ Washington is going to play or not, but I just think that 9.5 rebounds is a doable number for Mark Williams against DeAndre Ayton. They don't have too many bigs. The Charlotte Hornets don't have too many bigs, so he should be getting quite a bit of playing time, and he should be able to get the 10 rebounds. Hopefully he does. Again, I don't have too many numbers on this, so this is just just a pick, just a gut pick pretty much. So we're going to go ahead and, rock with him for our sixth and last pick. So just to recap, we're pretty much going to take the over on all our props today. Couldn't find an under that I was comfortable with. And as always, if you agree with any of my plays, just do the own research. Just don't take my word for it. And since we have $8 left in our balance, we're going to go ahead and place that $8 entry for the possibility of winning $200. So let's go ahead and place that entry. And that's going to be it for today's video, y'all. Y'all have a good rest of y'all day. Enjoy the games tonight, and we'll be back here tomorrow. Let's get this money.